This is one of the biggest mistakes that I see keeps coaches from being able to grow and scale their business. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm a relationship-based business coach who helps you get more clients sustainably. So let me know if this sounds familiar. You are trying a new strategy every couple months, every couple weeks. You're buying a few courses here and there, trying to figure out your business. Your income is unstable and unpredictable, and you feel like you can't actually control the flow of clients into your ecosystem that well. One of the things I see causes for life coaches who are looking to grow and scale is that they actually don't have the right mentorship in place. They're trying to DIY their business by piecing together a few things here and there instead of investing in a strategy and in a type of mentorship and teaching that could really save them time and money in the long term. This is something that I see constantly with smart, capable life coaches who genuinely care about their clients. They want to build a profitable life coaching business. They want to scale to group programs. They want to attract clients consistently and maybe eventually create a system that allows them to scale beyond one-on-one. But instead of getting support and building an actual structure and strategy to get them there, they stay stuck piecing together random pieces of information from different places online. So if you know that you're a really talented coach, but this sounds kind of like you, having the right kind of mentorship or teacher is probably the piece that you're missing. Because when we don't have clear guidance or clear leadership, we don't have a framework for our business, we don't have a structure that we can rely on to get us where we're going. Because there's a massive difference between consuming information and actually building a sustainable coaching business. So what happens when you're consuming courses, piecing together information from different places online, shifting strategies, is that your messaging isn't clear, your strategy doesn't have time to stick, your offers keep changing, so your audience doesn't know what you even provide. And every month, every quarter can kind of feel like starting over. This takes an enormous amount of mental energy and emotional energy from you because you're making decisions that you shouldn't even be making, nor should you be making them alone. For example, I recently had a new client come into our provider mastermind program, and we were talking about what social media platforms would be best for her given the stage that she was in with her business and what would be the best overall strategy for her. So we had to kind of work through some of the shiny object syndrome that we can sometimes get. Well, maybe I should try this and this and this. Maybe I should do TikTok and Substack and Instagram and all these social medias all at once. I like this idea. I like that idea. And we helped her narrow in on what platforms made the most sense for her and the overall strategy that made the most sense for her, given where she lives. She had the opportunity to do some in-person work as well. By narrowing her focus and making really clear decisions with guidance around what actually makes sense in the industry from someone who knows how the platforms work and how business is conducted on those platforms, she was able to zero in, focus in on what really mattered, and she signed 2 clients within her first month of our program. So this is how having a mentor and guidance and teaching can save you time and make you more money. So I want to also reframe something that I hear a lot of discourse around in the coaching industry, which is that there's something wrong with coaches coaching coaches, that there's something like an MLM or a pyramid scheme about that. But if you think about every single other industry, those people in that industry need someone to mentor them, to guide them, and to teach them. So if you're a dentist, you have a dentist. If you're a therapist, you probably have a therapist. If you're an athlete, maybe you coach, you have people who you mentor, you also have a coach, you also have a mentor. If you're a surgeon, you're going to have a surgeon, you're going to have your own doctor, you're going to have a team you collaborate with. So why do we have this idea in entrepreneurship and in coaching specifically that we have to do it all alone? When we do this, we stay stuck in confusion where we don't make decisions decisively or with the right kind of information, and it slows down our business growth. Because the truth is, the coaches who grow the fastest, who have the most success, aren't the ones that are consuming a lot of information, buying the next tiny little course. They're the ones that are investing in the right support and implementing a solid strategy and sticking with it. Because your business doesn't need variety necessarily. It might need some testing here and there, but mostly your business, in order to grow, needs a framework, it needs structure, it needs strategy. And one of the biggest pieces I see people missing is that they don't have a framework for the work that they do with people. This is essential if you want to scale beyond one-on-one coaching, if you want to do a group program of any kind, which is necessary usually to break into six figures or into multiple six figures. Unlike one-on-one, group programs require a lot of structure. One-on-one benefits from structure if you can help your clients see and expect their outcomes. Think of this from an education perspective with certain learning outcomes and objectives that you're working on together. You can do that in one-on-one, but you really, really need it with a group, because a group needs a clear client journey, steps that are going to fit most people, not in a prescriptive way. You can still mold it and shape it and make it dynamic. It doesn't need to be really rigid. You can do this with a high touch group program for sure. You need a repeatable process. You need to know exactly what you're selling so that you can have clear messaging and a really solid sales process. And you need to have clear outcomes that people can expect from a program like this. Even though you're not over-promising by any means, you need to be able to give people a clear idea of the journey you'll take them on, and then to be able to deliver something somewhat predictable for a number of people in the program whose different experiences you're holding space for at the same time, rather than in one-on-one when you can adjust and tailor to just the one person in front of you. And a framework is what makes this possible, is what allows this structure to be implemented into a group. Because you're able to say, these are the 6 pillars we'll be working on. These are the 4 stages we'll take you through. These are the 5 skills that you'll learn. These are the key shifts that we'll see in the transformation that you go on over the next 6 months. We'll start here, we'll end up here. We know you're in the first stage when you're experiencing this. We know you're in the second stage when you're experiencing this. And then you're able to clearly guide people's experience with varying amounts of hands-on support or hands-off support through those stages. And this is the core of what we do in our provider mastermind. I help my clients organize their expertise, their unique medicine, their body of work, all of their trainings into a framework and a method that is unique to them that you can implement into one-on-one or scale into a group program. So you probably already have a high degree of expertise, but it's kind of all over the place. It lives in different notes on your desktop, different Google documents, different posts you've made on the internet, notes from trainings. It's buried in your client notes somewhere, and you haven't really sat down and had someone who can help you and teach you how to turn that into a framework that is scalable, that is sellable, that is unique, and that makes you stand out in the market, which is really important these days as the life coaching market is getting more and more saturated. A framework is one of the best ways to make your work appear different and be different, because it becomes more powerful when it becomes more tangible. And people can say, this is this person's framework, this is this person's method. They have expertise, they have strategy, they have intellectual property that they've uniquely developed. I want to work with that person. It helps people say, I can clearly see how I'm going to get from A to B by signing up for this person's program, for this person's container. And so inside of Provider, we turn that into a clear framework and a clear method. And more than that, we turn it into a clear pathway. So we set up your next stage of funnel to understand how you can actually bring clients into that program that you developed with that framework, whether it's deepening your one-on-one or building out a group or even adjusting the programs that you already have. Maybe you've been teaching groups, but it's been kind of all over the place and you want to streamline and strategize more efficiently exactly what you're doing with people. A lot of people wait too long to get support because we think it's something that we do down the line when we're more advanced. But actually, if you can invest in support along the way and the right kind of support along the way, it will make your journey to success that much shorter, and you don't need to wait until you arrive at some unforeseen destination to invest in business support. So if you've been trying to DIY everything and piece things together to save a buck or two here or there, but your business isn't growing the way that you want it to, it is probably time to invest in the right kind of support and into mentorship and into a learning container around how to build your business specifically. Because if you're experiencing the kind of inconsistent results that you might be, it doesn't mean that your business can't work or that you can't do this. It might just mean that you need to move beyond the DIY stage because you've reached the limit of what you can see yourself, and you need somebody else to come in and see what you're not seeing. So if you want to build out your coaching framework, you want to scale beyond your existing client load, and you want to create a signature method that is unique to you that helps you stand out in the market so that you can create a business that actually grows with you, check out Provider down in the description below. I've linked our page and you can go ahead and apply to join us today.